What? Another dripper? Stick around. Hello, fellow vapors. Vaping newbie here, and yeah, we're going to be talking about a dripper today. And I find it's a dripper that newbies can easily build. It's called a Vulcan. No, it's not. That's just the packaging. It's called a Vector, and we'll get to that confusion a bit later. I won this in a giveaway on Facebook from a company called Theravape. Their main area is juice, and we're going to be talking about their juices in a future video. But they had a giveaway, and I came in first and won the Vector RDA, and got it in and couldn't wait to build on it. Was a bit nervous, and I'll be explaining why in a bit. So I contacted Theravape, and I said, well, do you sell it? Now, I'm going to put the link for Theravape down below, and check out their juices, check out their history, and what they're about. It's very, very interesting and really well put together. But no, they have the RX-7, but they do not have the Vector. So I was kind of confused. They came back and said, no, we went out and picked it up for the contest. So thank you. I believe they got it from a company called Panda, which is in Winnipeg. I went on their site. They didn't have it. So I was like, okay, what the hell's going on? And found one at G2K Vape here in Montreal online. So all these websites I'll be posting down below. Many choices to choose from because it was very confusing. I always like to give a shout out. So there you go. You got a shout out from Theravape, who hosted it. You got a shout out from Panda, who got the Vector RDA, even though it's not on their website, and then G2K, because it is on their website, okay? So that is all down below. But before we get too into it, let's go down below and take a look at the packaging of this.
Okay, it comes in this white cardboard box, and it says Vulcan. We're going to talk about that a bit more. And a bit of a warning on the back, but nothing much of essence. And unlike a lot of clear misers, there are no instructions and not a lot of bells and whistles. And there you go. There's a dripper. The box is a nicely formed plastic box with magnets that are actually better than a couple of the mods that I've seen. And I wonder how much money of the development went into the box, but it is what it is. You do get a little Ziploc baggie with some spare screws, O-rings, and some spitback screens. And there we have the dripper, and we're going to look at that a bit more in detail. The last thing inside the box, let me get that out for you, is the Allen key, which you use for tightening and loosening the screws that are on the build deck. So that's it. That's all you get. I'm going to change the camera angle, and we'll take a closer look at the Vector.
This is the Vulcan. This is the Vector. Vulcan, Vector. What the hell? Now you understand my confusion. Vapor Lifestyle changed the packaging. It came out with this really nice plastic box. The plastic box says Vulcan. The cardboard box says Vulcan. The underneath of the base says Vulcan. But on the etching on the actual dripper, it says Vector. When you go on your website, it says Vector. Give it its own damn box. Let's take a look at it.
And there you go, the Vector. Very simple in design. It is cut from one block of stainless steel. The name, as you can see, is etched on the side. It has a proprietary drip tip, so you cannot use one of your own. When we take it off this base, we see that on the bottom, it has a copper adjustable 510 connection. There is some writing on the back, on the bottom of it. It has some Japanese here and at the side here, and then underneath it says Vulcan. We're going to talk about that a bit later. And then 2015. The top, you have a mid-bore drip tip. It's not quite large, but it's definitely not small. And then you have your airflow. Let me just open this up so you can see all the holes. There you go. There are 8 total airflow holes, and they're all at the top. There is no bottom airflow on this. By adjusting the drip tip, you will close or open the airflow that you want, that you desire. You can have 2 to 8 holes open, but please keep in mind you cannot have only one side with airflow. So a single coil build is kind of wasted in my opinion. Now already in here is one of those spitback screens, so we're going to see how well that works and if it really affects flavor. If I take this off and show you the build deck, you can see it's a basic 3-post design, very tall negative in the center, and the screws of this, that's why you need to have that Allen key. It will not work with a screwdriver. It has double O-rings, and it is very tight thus far. So that's it. That's the Vector. Let me get a build on this, and we'll be back and let you know how it goes.
Okay, I have my build in here, and you can see it is a very basic build, dual coil, 24 gauge. It comes out to about 0.3 ohms, 0.30. Works quite well. Now, I want to show you, because of the juice well, you're not going to get any leakage. The juice is going in there, and then all your air holes are on the top. So that is preventing any kind of leakage. So let's take it up top, take it for a spin. Okay, let's see how she does. I got this at 70 watts. The flavor is really good. There is really not a lot of vapor production. I've been trying this on different wattages, up and down. 70 was my sweet spot for me, and I'm going to try something now because I've never had this. I'm going to pop out. I've taken out that screen that was in there. I just found it was hindering. I don't get a lot of spit back anyhow, so I'm going to put it back. This is the same juice, and got some juice on my fingers on that one. But let's try it without it, and if it really bothers me, I'll just put it back. Makes a difference. You want to take out that screen. The screen seemed to hinder the airflow. This is the same airflow that I had before, and I found it night and day. It now produces, to me, in my opinion, even a better flavor and clouds. So it came with it installed. No thanks, don't need it, don't want it. Which allows me to do something else. If I want to put some juice in here, and I got some Theravape juice, and we're going to be doing that in a later video, but I can go directly in there. I'm not overly worried about over dripping as I did with the Velocity, because the airflow is at the top and not at the bottom. Here we go. Bam, this thing is working like a charm now. So let me get my thoughts together and come to the end, give you a wrap up. You're definitely going to want to pop that screen out. And in my opinion, you're going to want to try this dripper. Let's get to the final thoughts. This is my Velocity. A lot of people do that. I know I do it at times. I blow in, do my pull, and the cloud. Okay? Keep that in mind. Why did I do it out with the Velocity? Because one of the things that you do out of habit, or I do every once in a while, is I blow into the dripper and then do my pull. I can't do that with the Vector because the air holes are at the front, or at the top rather. So when I blow in, all that steam that on the Velocity was coming out the side is now coming out the top right at your face. So don't do that, okay? Now let's get to the pros and cons, and we're going to start with the cons first, all right? Number one, the screen. I kept it in there. I was trying it, and I couldn't put my head around it. It couldn't possibly be that bad cloud production. I'm getting better cloud production out of a freaking cave fund. If I would still have one. So why is this happening? And then I looked at the screen very carefully because I'm trying to figure out what it is. And I pulled the cap off and I'm looking around at am I lining everything up? And then it dawns on me when I look at the screen, the meshing is such that the holes are minute. So wait a minute, is that not hindering the draw? So I thought, well, what happens if I remove it? I can always put it back because there are spares. If I bend it or whatever, I can always put it back. And that was it. So I think step one, pop that thing out. I certainly don't need it, but it's something I would recommend. The second con, this thing heats up like a son of a gun. You really cannot do extremely long draws on it because everything is made of stainless steel. Now, there is a flip side to that. Bear with me just a second. The drip tip is a proprietary drip tip. You cannot change that out for like a Delrin that's on the Velocity. So the heat dispensation is not as great. You're gathering all that. The air flows on the top. You're gathering all of that. This son of a bitch gets really, really hot. So you cannot do a long draw, okay? There is another con. Now, I'm going to stop there because I really, truly didn't find any other cons. The rest are all pros. But let me explain some of these cons. Because it is built from one block of stainless steel, and folks, I come from 30 years working with high-end jewelry and watches, and high-end watches are built from one block of metal. A Rolex, a stainless steel Rolex, is built from one block of stainless steel. Let's have a vape. Having said that, that's what gives the build quality. That is a massive pro for me. Let me just interject a picture just for a second. I hope you saw it clear enough, but another pro for me is the build deck. I was hesitant about this because it's a 3-post deck, and I had a lot of drippers with 3-post decks that I got rid of because I really didn't have the patience, and I have a little shake, and I was always snapping off when I was cutting the leads. I was snapping the other coil off, so I was a bit hesitant about it. But the size of the holes in the negative center post were such that it didn't cause me any grief at all. And to me, I know it's something that people that build these all the time are looking at, but to me, that was a big pro. I really was happy that I was able to build on this so easily. So we talked about the build quality. We talked about that build deck and that negative center post. I guess the biggest pro for me is the pure flavor that I'm getting. It's by no stretch a cloud tank, and I'm not a cloud guy. I'm a flavor guy, so it fits my liking very, very much. Really, really good vapor, in my opinion. Not a cloud, good vapor. Fantastic flavor. The drip tip doesn't bother me that much. If you take short pulls, it's not going to get hot. The 510 connection, copper and adjustable, loving that. So all in all, it's nice. It's compact. It's not a big dripper. It actually is going to become my favorite dripper. Have a hard time putting it down. So as I mentioned earlier, there's many places you can pick this up. Is it worth it? Yes, unless all you want to do is clouds. You want to take a look at the inside because I really didn't touch on this. And this is just the way they do things. I don't know if you can see those sort of dig outs in between on each side, up and down, in between the air holes. Well, what that is it's dug out to fit the positive posts on the side. So again, really well thought out. They have that clearance. Now you're going to want to make sure that your coils, in my opinion, I kept them lowish, not too high because I didn't want too much heat at the top. I mean, you're getting enough. So you're going to want to keep your coils low. I don't know if you can pick that up, but you'll see the coils are on the lower end. I didn't have any problems with that. It's all working well. Really, really nice dripper, in my opinion. And the fact that it's an authentic, and I'm not going to get into a clone authentic war, excuse me, well, I shouldn't do this on camera, adjusting my airflow. I'm not going to get into a clone versus authentic war, because most of what I own are clones. But I find in this case, they'd be hard pressed to fully copy the Vector based on the fact that that carved from one block. They'd be doing it in piece parts to keep costs low. So, in my opinion, you got to go authentic on this. And I've been looking around. I can't find a clone of this. So, that I was kind of pleased about. Just can't put it down. Well, it's a combination of the juice, too, right? So, overall, this thing is a massive thumbs up. 2, Vapor Life, I believe it's called. Let me check on the name. Who makes it? Vapor Lifestyle. Sorry, folks, I had to look that up. I had a bit of a bad edit. Vapor Lifestyles give it its own packaging. You don't need Vulcan written all over something called a Vector. Okay, that is just something for some reason that annoys me. So yeah, that is the Vector. I'm really enjoying it. I can actually now, without that screen, I can do longer pulls. I'm gonna have to put some juice in there. So let's take a look right through the drip tip. Some Theravape. This is called I'm sorry, creamy custard. And again, we're going to be discussing those in another video. Very nice, folks. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I want to take another minute to thank Theravape for having that contest. I'm so thrilled to have this. But I'm glad y'all dropped by. You know, I love having you over. I hope you got something out of it. Please stay healthy and happy vaping. Take care, folks.